Stephen Jew here.
Hi.
Welcome to the House Academy Show, entertaining real estate investment talk. I'm Stephen Jack Butala.
And I'm Jill DeWitt, broadcasting from sunny Southern California.
Today, Jill and I talk about budgeting for 2020. One of my favorite things.
One of my least favorite things.
I love budgets.
But you know what? The kind of budgets we're going to talk about, I love.
Yeah.
But it's like, but I got to tell you, when I hear budgeting, I think, oh no, my allowance is changing.
Allowance.
I know.
That's
like,
funny.
But like
Oh,
you
I
said,
see.
you know.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Is that the first thing you think of?
Yeah. Like, uh-oh. What am I doing? What do I got to change? But no, but you did politely share yesterday that I'm very good with money now. I really am. And my money, I'll be honest.
So interesting.
Yeah.
You think of the word budget, you associate it with expenses.
Yes.
And I always have associated it with revenue.
No.
So the word budget for me is very happy.
I'm like, is this going to affect my hair appointments and my things like that? Having said that, that's my money, so I can go nuts if I want to.
Remember Susie Orman?
Yeah.
I don't know if she's around anymore.
she is.
She's kind of like a financial expert. She has a great personal story about how she just became like this person who gives financial advice. But anyway,
Right.
I'll let you look it up. But she's famous for saying, and I just love this, you don't make enough money.
Oh,
Next week, you need to make more money.
I agree.
And I just think that's the greatest thing I've
love
ever
it.
heard.
Like-
It's the best financial advice I've ever heard.
Something's got to change, maybe you got to go get another job.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
If you've got a job and you're making X and you're spending Y and that number's above that, the X, Y is bigger than X, you got to make more money.
I like this topic, by the way. My first thoughts are when people are in this situation, usually they're overspending on things, and the easiest they can do is cut their costs, but they refuse to do that. Have you noticed that?
I also had a professor in college. He said, you can't cost cut your way into having a successful company. That's not the first thing you should be doing.
Well, I
you should
meant
be
life
making
stuff.
more money.
Well, like say your mortgage is way too much, and you have car payments that you should have no
shouldn't have a
business having.
mortgage.
We're saying the same thing. All right.
Or a car payment.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Ever.
Should you really
ever
be driving that?
have either one of those things.
Yeah, maybe when you have this, you can look at that car, but not now. I
Yeah.
agree. Mm-hmm.
All that stuff comes after you're making tons of money, not before.
Right.
Same thing with marriage. After you're already done being successful, then get married.
I like that.
Or maybe not. Maybe you never get married.
Right. I understand.
After you're totally independently wealthy, maybe you have some kids.
Okay. I don't disagree.
I know you don't.
Nope.
And you know what? I found you like this. Like, it's not like I professed this stuff and, I talked
drank
to her
the
while
Kool-Aid.
she was, it's not, like I talked to her while she was sleeping and just embedded it in there. We found each other this way.
That would be hilarious. I go to sleep and you slip little headphones on my ear that say marriage bad.
Do not marry him. Do not marry him.
Have a long, long life together.
Wow, we could create
That'd be
tapes.
hilarious.
Subconscious tapes, subliminal
my
tapes.
gosh. That's good.
Before we get into it, let's take a question posted by one of our members on the houseacademy.com online community. It's free.
That's right. And you don't need that jewelry or whatever it is. I don't know. That'd be great. Okay. Chris says, hi, everybody. Just a quick question. Paperwork is quickly getting out of hand. Since we mostly closed through title, there's a lot of thick bundles of paper stacking up on my desk. For parcels that I've already sold, I'm thinking about scanning the papers and then shredding everything. Why keep it? But then I wonder if there's some unknown reason I should need to keep physical original copies of paperwork for land that I sold. What do you do? Thanks. And it looks like someone already chimed in with a response that Stephen shared here, so I will read this. Thanks. Physical paper makes me want to vomit.
This is real.
This is how you roll too. I would assume that if you're able to complete a real estate transaction start to finish electronically using e-recording, you should just scan and shred. Just my 2 cents. Totally agree.
Scan and shred.
Think about the transactions that we entered into. I didn't even have the deed from the person. I never even got the vesting deed from them. I found it myself. I looked it up in Title Pro and downloaded it for myself. Open escrow, did everything like that. I didn't need it to buy it. I don't need to hang on to it here too.
I don't know why this doesn't come up more often, because I was real confused about it when I started
Yeah.
a lot of years ago, 25 years ago. You don't need a deed. It's not like a car title.
An original.
And I think that's where
thing.
the disconnect comes from.
You're right.
So for a long time, I kept the deeds, and then I really realized that it doesn't matter at all. It's recorded at the county.
Exactly.
So there was a time, probably about 3 or 4 years into when I was buying and selling land in the beginning, where I would keep the deeds in its filing cabinet. This is long before you. And then, but I really realized it. And then eventually you can't keep 10,000 deeds.
Right. 16,000 now, by the way.
So we just had a shredding party.
Right.
I actually called a service. You can't have them come just shred everything right in front of us and take it away. It was a lot of paper.
I bet.
And then we sold it was a happy day in my life. We sold the filing cabinets for on Craigslist for $25, and I just smiled the whole day. I hate paper. But we are 100% paperless.
You brought up a good point. Why are we doing it with pink slips now? It should be that way too. I can, it's nuts.
And why are they calling pink slips? Because they're not pink.
They're not pink.
I think they used to be pink in California, and Hollywood got a hold of that.
I think it was like in triplicate, and you rip off the white, and then the buyer now takes the pink one, and then you sign it. It's a big deal. The whole signing thing now, and it's not notarized. I don't think on the back. Is it? No, I don't think it is notarized.
In California, it's not.
Yeah,
which is very strange.
It's really weird.
The only place
I have to have this.
Ever seen that doesn't have notarization on it.
So my pink slip car title, it's not notarized. I take it in. It's so old school.
So there's a database now. There's always been some version of a database at the county since homesteading. So that's what where the word book page. So if you get a deed recorded anywhere in the country, they stamp it now with a book and a page. Now it's electronic. And so that's literally a book somewhere in the county and a page. So you would go to book 362, page 1035, and there's your deed. So that's why fires were devastating back in the day, because nobody knew what real estate they owned. Right. So that was a database, very crude one, but that was. As far as cars go, I don't think that, like now we have the DMV and stuff. I know they have a database, and you can get a duplicate title if you lose it. So you know what? You don't need.
You really don't.
It's and I think you can even order it online if you need to.
Well, and the information's out there. Think about Carfax. Carfax looks up, from your VIN. We can go back and back and back, just like a parcel number or something. Right. It's kind of silly. Thank you.
The paper's not necessary at all.
I agree.
We have shredders and scanners. Gillette just purchased, on my recommendation, like a $1,500 scanner.
A new scanner.
That's how much we hate paper. Exactly. And you can scan like a phone book in like 10 minutes. It just zips it. It's pretty cool.
Love it. Money well spent.
I've always had a scanner like that in my life. Always. Mm-hmm. Today's topic, how to budget for 2020. This is the meat of the show. I'm going to make this really simple. And this was inspired by our Thursday webinar for both House Academy and Land Academy. I asked everybody to give me 2 numbers. Number 1, what's the net margin, the average net margin that you make per transaction? In the case, this is the House Academy show, so it should be a number between $35,000 and $85,000-ish. That's how much you should make per deal. And the second number is how many transactions can you realistically complete every month or week, depending on how you look at it. And my example was, all right, $100,000. I know I can. Jill and I usually make about $100,000 on a house.
Average.
Yeah. And I'm very, very comfortable closing one a week. So let's just say 50. So that's $5 million. We should make $5 million buying and selling houses this year, pretty mechanically. So then, that's the whole budget. As far as expenses go, don't have any. You should have really like 2 expenses, really 3. Yeah. Data, you have to get the data somewhere. And if you're a member here, you get it included with your subscription. Mail, can't do this without sending mail. People have tried. All kinds of people constantly say, there's no way you can do this without sending mail. Yeah. I tried texting. I tried calling. I tried using real estate agents. It doesn't work.
Right.
Doesn't work as well. And if you're a little bit more advanced, you're going to have some type of labor some type of help, which you can do in the Philippines for about $3 an hour. You don't need an office. You can use your kitchen table. You should have very, very few expenses. You need a phone. You need a telephone, and you need to host a website, which is like $12. $12
just to get it started.
Yeah,
and stuff.
and then
it's
$12
pretty
a month.
easy.
So, if you line this business up against anything that you could find on the internet, any businesses that are for sale, restaurants, convenience stores, any of that stuff, there's no better way if you're just starting out to make money than this.
Right.
It's nothing cheaper.
People think that you have to be able to buy the asset outright, and they need to have that much money in the bank. I think that's where people get hung up.
Me too.
And you don't. Because I watch them in all kinds of other online communities, not just ours. That's the thing. Like, well, I can't get into the house market.
Right.
I don't have $250,000.
That's
Nor
right.
do I own a construction company. Nor do I have, the time and the money to do the renovations.
That's the reason you're part of a group like this.
Right.
So you can get money partners and learn how to
And
do
figure
stuff.
this stuff out.
That's right.
Exactly.
So, we could sit here and talk for hours about budgeting. It's those two numbers. The net margin you're going to make on a deal, average, and the number of deals that you are comfortable completing per month or per week in our case.
And everybody was really good on that call last week. They really shared their numbers. And some people, it's like, hey, I just want to do 4. I'm new. I want to do 4 a year. So 1 a quarter.
Yeah.
I have a full-time job. I have whatever going on. I want 4 a year. And I want to make, $30,000 on it. Let's just say. So that's $120,000 of side income.
Side gig, yeah.
It's not crazy. I mean, $120,000 is going to pay off somebody's mortgage.
Yep.
Or pay for college, in 1 year.
Exactly.
So that's really good that you could, when you really sit back, that's what I love about this. When you really sit back and look at it that way, then you're like, oh, now it's not crazy.
There's a guy in our advanced group. His wife had a health scare, which she recovered from, but he said it just changed our lives. So all he does is 1 deal a month, and he tries to make about $100,000 on it, between 80 and 100. And so he makes like $1.5 million, almost $1.5 million a year.
Yep.
And it takes
And
him
he has
like
a lot of free time.
He works like 3 hours a week, he says.
Yeah, exactly.
So, and he has no intention of making $2 million next year. He just wants to do 1 deal a month. And I really respect that. I don't have that kind of self-control.
No, you
If
don't.
I have some free time, I'm going to go buy another company or something.
This is true. Boy, welcome to my
This is
world.
what Jill said right before we sat down and started to record today. She said, look at that beach. We could be walking on the beach today. And I said, yeah, let's record. It's true. It's exactly what she said.
That's true. You're right. Happy you could join us today. Every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, you can find us over on the Land Academy Show. Tuesdays and Thursdays, right here. Stay put. We're on the House Academy Show.
Tomorrow, the episode on the Land Academy Show is called Using Virtual Assistants Correctly and Incorrectly. You are not alone in your real estate ambition. I lost my way.
That's okay. That's why you have me. And that's why I have you. We see budgeting different. We see beach days different. We see free time different.
It's true.
But that's okay. The House Academy Show remains commercial free for you, our loyal listeners. So wherever you're watching, wherever you're listening, please subscribe and rate us there.
We are Steve and Jill. Information
and inspiration
to buy undervalued property.